Angela Duckworth wrote an incredible book entitled Grit. In it, she writes about the intersection of talent and perseverance. Her search for grittiness led her to, well, let me read you what she wrote. Why were the highly accomplished so dogged in their pursuits? For most, there was no realistic expectation of ever catching up with their ambitions. In their own eyes, they were never good enough. They were the opposite of complacent, and yet, in a very real sense, they were satisfied with being unsatisfied. In some, no matter the domain, the highly successful had a kind of ferocious determination that played out in two ways. First, these exemplars were unusually resilient and hardworking. Second, they knew in a very, very deep way what it was they wanted. They not only had determination, they had direction. This got me thinking about a certain collection of classes that serve as the gateway to the Auburn Industrial Design Professional Program, a collection we like to call Summer Up. Here's a brief synopsis. It's a challenging 12-week course broken into 3 4-week sections. There's a section on technical drawing, perspective theory, and volumetric rendering. No matter how many apply to the program, only the top 45 are selected to move on to the sophomore year. I realized, if gritty people succeed in the long run, then these are the students I want in my classes, the ones who are willing to investigate, to stick with a problem, even when it's frustrating or uncomfortable. More than that, many of the students who apply to the program have no prior existing design experience. But the curriculum rewards gritty students. The test asks, can you understand an atypical skill set, visualize it in your head, and express competency using two-dimensional output? If you can prove you can hustle, persevere, and repeatedly adapt to the unfamiliar, then you might turn out to be a pretty good designer. But Ben, what about talent? What about prior experience? I'll get to that in a little bit. I gave Angela Duckworth's test to 66 first-time students. The test looks like this. The evens are questions on personal passion, and the odds are questions on internal motivation. You combine the two, and you get a cumulative grit score. There's one more thing that Angela Duckworth points towards as evidence of grittiness in her book, Pre-Existing Grit, Developed by Former Experiences. She references Warren Willingham and his idea of follow-through. The follow-through rating involved evidence of purposeful, continuous commitment to certain types of activities, opposed to sporadic events in diverse areas. Notably, the particular pursuits in which students devoted themselves in high school didn't matter, whether it was tennis, student government, or debate team. The key was that the students had signed up for something, signed up again the next year, and during that time made some progress. I added this to the survey by asking the simple question: what activities did you do pre-college? How many years did you do it? And what did you achieve? I hypothesized the students with high grit levels would make it into the professional program. But what I didn't know was what kind of measurement was the best predictor: personal passion, internal motivation, cumulative, or activity. This is what the initial survey delivered. First, we have cumulative grit score. I colored the students who appear in all 3 charts for simplicity. We have internal perseverance. We have personal passion. And for the activity chart, I created the following methodology. Students who participated in a 4-year activity, I awarded 3 points. If a student participated in an event only for 1 year, even if he or she won a state title, I awarded 0 points. Students receiving a total of 6 are in red, 5 in dark orange, 4 in lighter orange, 3 in blue, 2 in pearl, and 1 in gray. After 12 weeks of trial by fire, I had my results. Of the students who scored highest on the cumulative grit score, 20 of the 36 made it into the program. Of the students who scored highest in the internal perseverance section, 19 of the 36 students made it into the program. Of the students who scored highest in the personal passion section, 21 of the 36 students made it into the program. And of the students who scored highest on the activity section, 23 of the 36 students made it into the program. The grit test is successful in identifying students who make it into the program roughly 55% of the time, while the activity score having the highest percentage of success at 64%. The biggest takeaway I have after looking at the grit score outcomes leads me to believe that experience has incredible impact. But there's 2 ways of interpreting experience here. First is that grit gained from experiences is transferable. These students had built up a tolerance and endurance to facing adversity. They didn't just mark a test with high scores because they felt they were gritty in the moment. Instead, they had real-life experiences to justify their score. The second is pre-existing design experience, specifically with the matter instructed in summer out courses. Perhaps they applied grit early in their educational career. Perhaps they are truly talented. It's tough to tell. But I do know this. A later survey revealed that of the 10 students who had design experience prior to entering summer out, all 10 made it into the program. More to come on this study as I track the gritty students through the next 12 months of the design program.